In this video today, it's going to be a little bit longer. We're going to go over in detail on how we at Redemption Auto Sales appraise and inspect our new trade-ins. The vehicle that I have behind me is actually a fresh trade that we just took in today. It's a 2019 Mercedes-Benz C300. And I think this video will be good for anybody, even personal individuals who are looking at trading in their vehicles or what to look for when they're trading their vehicles in, how a dealer may hit their car for different discounts and things like that based upon them trading it in. Or it could be for anybody who wants to buy and sell some cars on the side, or somebody new to the automotive or dealer industry, or even seasoned dealers who may be looking for tricks and tips on how other dealers may be appraising and inspecting vehicle trade-ins. So the first thing I want to go over is what I look at when I'm looking at a vehicle for trade-in is I'm going to pull up the VIN number of the vehicle, I'm going to look at the mileage, and I want to look at some sort of vehicle history report, whether that be an auto check or a Carfax. You know, each people look at different tools and they like different tools better for whatever reasons. For here at our dealership, we're actually a Carfax certified dealership, so we're a Carfax store. So what we look at as our appraisal tool is we look at the history report on the Carfax. So this vehicle, it was a locally owned car. It was actually purchased at Burt Smith, which is a local franchise car dealership close to our location. It did have one minor accident on the history report, and the previous owners purchased it only about 6 months ago from this franchise car dealership. The mileage was good on it. The Carfax and history looked good. So then we went out to the vehicle and we began to inspect the car. One of the first things that I noticed on this vehicle when I was inspecting it is we have a little bit of damage right down here on the front bumper of the vehicle. Most dealerships, they're gonna hit that for anywhere from about $400 to $1,000 depending on the dealership. For us at our dealership, we're very reasonable when it comes to the inspections of our cars, and we usually estimate very closely to what it's actually going to cost us to repair the damage. So for us, we estimated that at about $400 to $500 to repair that. So we hit it based on that. Another thing that I look at is the equipment on the vehicle. How is the vehicle actually gonna list in the marketplace? This one is a white in color with the black accents. That's a pretty good colorway for this car. It also has the panoramic roof. It has the blind spot detection. And then you go inside, the interior of the vehicle is relatively clean. Now again, this is a fresh trade, so keep in mind it's still dirty. We just took this in on trade today, but the overall condition of the interior is good. I don't see any panels that are gonna need to be replaced. I don't see anything like that. Now what is missing on this car is this car is supposed to have navigation, so it looks like the navigation disc is missing on this car. That's also something that ought to impact the pricing of our appraisal when we build out that report. So if you're a dealer and you're looking and you're new, one of the things you want to keep in mind is how much am I going to invest back into the car? What equipment does that car have? What's the history of that car look like? And what sort of things ought this car ought to have that it is actually missing? If we go to the back of this car, again, interior of the car, very clean, good condition. It's going to need a professional detail inside and out, but you know, it's clean overall. So we're going to have to look at that. There's another thing that I noticed on the back bumper of the car. When we zoom in right here, you'll see there's some spider cracks here on the back bumper. Looks like they backed into something at some point. For us to get retail pricing on this car, we're gonna have to also repaint and repair this back bumper. Again, for us, that's about $400 or $500. Other dealerships, you know, they might quote that out at about $500 to $1,000, right? So it just depends on what dealer you're at. But for us, we try to be very reasonable on our inspections and on our reports when we're taking in trades. We're very aggressive when it comes to giving people appraisals on their trade-ins. For us, we make a lot of money on our trade-ins. That's a great source of inventory for us. So we always want to make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity at that trade. Also, we're just an aggressive store in general, so we want to get that sale. So a lot of times if you're trying to be you know, get the trade-ins for too cheap of a price, you might lose the deal entirely. So for us, you know, we always want to make sure we're being aggressive so that we can capture the sale and that we can capture that trade if we want it, so that we can resell that trade. If we continue to wrap around, you see a little bit more damage here on your back bumper. We're gonna fix that when we're repainting the back bumper. If you look at the interior of the car here, again, it's very clean. Another thing that we're gonna look at on these cars is, the equipment, the interior, the exterior paint. We also have to focus on tires. Customers are very adamant about having good tires, good brakes, fresh oil, good fluids on their cars. They're gonna look at the history report on that vehicle. So they're gonna wanna see what does the history look like on that car, right? So for the next thing, we're gonna look at the tires. Okay, tires in this vehicle, they're in good condition. They're probably about 70% wear. For me, I don't necessarily look at the age of the tires. I know some dealers do. If you wanted to look at the age of the tires, you do have right here somewhere on the side of the tire where it's going to give you the actual age of the tire. It might be difficult for us to find just very quickly on this video, but you're going to have it right here in writing on the side, the actual age of the tires. And I'm going to pass over that for now because I don't see it just very quickly on my, here we go. So we got 5 of 23. So if he zooms in right here, you're going to see right here on the tire where it shows 523. That means these tires are from 2023. So we're in 2025 right now. We're in September of 2025. Those tires are about 2.5 years old, but they still have really good tread life. Most people will tell you about 5 years on your tire. So I say these tires are about 70, 80%. No need to change the tires. The next thing I'm gonna look at is the actual rims, right? Does the rim have curb rash on it? Is the rim gonna need any repair? For us as a dealership here, the way that we sell our inventory is if we have rim and curb rash, a lot of times we're gonna repair that. We have a vendor partner that does rim repair. So we're gonna look at that and we're gonna say, do we have to spend money on that recon of that? So again, first thing, I'm gonna look exterior panels. I'm gonna look at the Carfax report, the history. I'm gonna look at the interior. Is there anything that needs to be repaired on the interior? I'm gonna look at equipment. I'm gonna look at the specific car itself. What's the color combo? Is that desirable in the marketplace? How much are we gonna have to spend on the car? After we do those things and I look at a base report, I'm gonna look to the customer. I'm gonna ask the customer what they're hoping to get out of the vehicle as a whole. Now, if the customer has a reasonable expectation and we're already close to what we think that we can give them, now I'm gonna send somebody out on a test drive with that car. So I wanna do an actual road inspection of this car. How does it drive? Is it making any funny noises? Does it feel like it needs the brakes? Is the AC cold? All the basic things that we're gonna look at to try to estimate the inspection and what we're gonna have to spend on that car as a reconditioning before we put it out on our lot. For this car, we already took it through its test drive. One of my guys already passed it as far as its road test went. We already understood that we had to do the bumpers. And overall, that's about the most major things that we had to do on the car. The thing that I actually missed, and this does happen, I encourage you guys who are new dealers, make sure that you're inspecting your cars to the best of your ability, because there's going to be a lot of times you may miss something and overestimate the appraisal on a car. Then once you give the pricing to the customer, it's very hard to back off the pricing that you gave to them. So if you're a dealer or something, if you're looking to buy and sell vehicles, make sure that you're giving a good, thorough inspection before you ever give out a number, because once you give a number to a customer, it's very hard to back up from that. So for me, I personally missed that this vehicle was missing the nav card. So that's an additional expense that we're gonna have to spend as a dealership to recondition this car. But at the same time, we knew that we wanted to sell the customer our vehicle. We paid up on the trade transparently for this to get it. I think it'll be an easy sell for us with the quality and the condition that this car is in, with the type of clients that we serve, with the inventory that we like to keep on our lot. So it's not a big deal to us. And we moved our piece of inventory today, so we're grateful for that. And that's basically a summary of how we look to inspect the trade. This is a fresh trade. So again, if you're looking at this video and you might like this car will be for sale for you guys soon. If you're a new dealer, somebody who's looking to flip some cars, hopefully I shared some insight on what I look at and how I initially appraise a car for trade, and it helps you and your future. And if you're a new dealer and you're just kind of learning the process, I, having a little bit of experience, could share my experience with you guys and help you guys out today. I hope you guys got some value out of this content. If you did, like, subscribe, share on all platforms. We're trying to grow our channel. We're just starting it. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I hope you got some value out of this today.